Hello and welcome to how I play my level 50 wizard in Everquest. So we're going to jump right into it and talk about spells. We'll talk about my hotbars. If you've watched any of my how I play my character videos, I set up all my characters the exact same UI, the exact same extended target. The groups typically is X target 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. And then I have X target 20 as the tank and X target 19 as the main assist. I'm not going to cover it anymore, but I just want to have that as a reference as I do this. So I made this character during the experience bonus a weekend on Labor Day, and I've leveled them up pretty quick. So we're going to start with spells and we're going to go from there. All right, so the wizard has 3 lines of nukes, if you will. Wizard is a DPS class in Everquest. And there's magic-based, ice-based, and fire-based. I guess you could say cold here. These are all available, and I believe in the classic era of the game. Now I'm playing on live, so I have everything available to me. So if you're watching this, you're on a TLP. I believe all 3 of these spells are available. I think like the familiar we're gonna get to later is not available in classic, but these are the 3 different ones, and you use these on different targets, right? So what I've been doing is doing some math to see which is the most efficient. So if we take the damage here on this first one, Rind, right, 855, and then we divide that by 172, we get 4.9, right? Now if we clear that and do, was that 808 divide by 154, we get 5.2, and clear that one, and then what is that, 900 divided by 189, we get 4.7. Now I use these as the ratio of mana to damage, right? So I get this ratio here is the 5.2 is the highest on Ice Comet. So that is the spell I use most of the time, unless there is a reason why I shouldn't be using that spell at that point in time. Like say if I was fighting Lord Nagafen, I would use Ice Comet. I would not use Conflagration. If I was fighting Lady Vox, I'd use Conflagration, not Rend or Ice Comet. So there's some nuance to some of this, but for the most part, that's the gist of it, right? These all do about the same damage. They're all within 100 damage of each other. Ice Comet being the lowest damage, but the most mana efficient, as far as I know. Maybe I'm doing the math totally backwards. Someone can tell me if I'm doing it wrong. But it feels the best to me. And they're all about 5-second cast time, so that's about, they're equivalent. Right, there is equivalent to they can get. Now, I don't have any of the items, but you can get focus items. Let me see here. This mask. No, that does reach. Let's see, cool shoulders. No, those don't even have focus items. There's focus items you can get on live that will lower the cast time. I think I had one and I sent it off to my alt when I replaced it with this intricate, and I didn't realize that. And then there is ones that you can get to increase damage. I don't have any of those yet either, but those are all very important items. I believe the arms do fire, the helmet does magic, and I think it's the boots or the gloves does cold. One of them does cold. And you'll want to get those, and that can be found on Defiant gear. From you can start getting that at like level 1 all the way till like level 75, and you'll get different level versions of it, right? Like I have intricate Defiant cloak, right? So that kind of explains some of that there. But you just pick the one you want and use it, and that's the only thing you really do. Now we do have other nukes and other spells, right? Like it's not that simple. We do get some point blank AoE spells. Here is Supernova. This is the level 45 point blank AoE fire spell that does 854 damage to everything in 30 nearby creatures. So if I cast this in between all these training dummies here, I hit every single one of them. Now, they're like level, you know, whatever level, right? They're gonna resist all that because my other characters are in the, you know, hundreds and 90s. So it's, you know, I don't have lower level training dummies, but you see the point, right? It does a lot. Now, it's a decent spell, right? Let's like see what the recast time on that was. It's a long cast time, but it's a 10-12 second reuse time, so it's pretty nice. Now, that is not the only one. There are, if you go here, direct damage, there is a level 30 Thunderclap one, and then there is a level 1 Ice one, but you're not going to do that. But there are also other spells here. Here's Frost Storm. This is a targeted AoE spell. This one here, I believe this one does a wave, like a wave, whatever, recast. So here, 4 creatures, and it does 7.5 seconds. So if I cast this Frost Storm, it should hit 4 creatures. I guess they're not close enough to it, but it will see it just nukes over and over again, doing waves of damage. 512 damage per wave every 3 seconds, and you get 3 seconds per. So those are nice in certain situations. I just don't use them. It just doesn't work into my flow of multi-boxing and doing things the way I do it. Now, you could obviously do these, you know, like if you're gonna kite and stuff like that. I believe, let me see here, circle of force column, I think it's this wrath line here. Let me check it real quick. Like, I don't kite, I don't solo, you know. It's what it is, everything I do is with my group. See here, targeted AoE. So this one here, let's target this one over here. They're gonna resist it, but it does see this, hits 4 creatures and stuns them for up to 1 second. So you see there. So the concept of how you would kite would be something like this, right? So you would want, let's get a second spell slot here. Let's direct damage, wrath, and then we're gonna want bonds of force. Now, normal mobs are gonna outrun you and stuff like that. But what you do is you would bond of force. Excuse my spells, I leveled really fast. Now imagine they all got snared and now they're going really slow, and then you can kind of run and you know, I guess quad kite is the word you would use for this. This is, you know, hits up to 4 creatures, doing what is that, 448 damage. So you just run and run and run and keep snare on them, right? So that is a way you could do that if you were so inclined. But again, I don't play that way, so it is not 100% accurate, I would assume. Next up, I have Knowledge Portal. So this is just my throwaway slot so that I can put whatever I want in at the moment until we get some other spells we can put on the spell bar. But this is mostly teleporting to different places. I'm currently leveling this character with another character, and only those 2. So you know, I'm easy to teleport them to Plane of Knowledge, buy spells and stuff like that. Next up, we have Harvest. Harvest is an interesting spell because it is a mana heal, if you will. That's the category it is in, I believe. If you look into heals, mana flow, Harvest. Now, what this will do is it just takes mana, stuns you for 10 seconds, and gives you your mana back. Now, if we cast it here, you see it's a pretty long cast time. You wouldn't want to do this in combat unless you really need to. And then you can see here, I am stunned during the duration of this, right? So there's a little bit there, and you get back mana. I don't know how much. I've never been low enough mana on this character yet to do that, because I have the what, 9,000 mana. So I have the amount plus the, I used to have it. I don't know what happened there. There we go. I guess the familiar The familiar and the wizard familiar do not stack properly, so that's something to keep in mind. And then I have evacuate here. So this will evacuate your group out of a dangerous situation. It's a really nice ability when you are multi-boxing for sure. And it's a real nice thing to provide to a group in dungeons. Like if you're on a TLP and you're pretty deep into a dungeon, you can evac out. Now, I don't know what era this spell is given, but I think it's more like Luckland era, not classic. I don't remember having it in classic. But with all that said, we do have a lot of transportate spells. Plus, we have where is it? Do we have them? Yeah, we do have some evacuate spells. So that is something of note, that these are available in classic. I just don't know if lesser evacuate is available in classic or not. But you can also just memorize one of the portals and keep it going. And then finally, in this last spot is another throwaway spot. I have either arc shielding here, which is our current level shielding buff. As you can see here, I can't cast it. I don't think I've cast it once. There we go. But it'll give us a little extra hit points and magic resist, and I think a little bit of AC. See there. What is that? 300 hit points? No way. Anyway, it's a nice spell. Another thing to think about is the familiar. I mentioned it before. So I have the Terror of Luckland familiar. And this is the wizard familiar. So this increases our resistance, CMDs, creatures, and stuff like that. So they are not really on the same level. That's the wrong thing. That's what it looks like. You can see here, this one provides a whole bunch more stats and stuff like that. Now, this is all keyed off of the familiars tab here, so it just, you want that stats and you don't have access to a different familiar. This one's going to be pretty nice, right? Reduced fizzle rate is actually pretty nice because you can lose a lot of mana to fizzling, so something to keep in mind. But for the most part, how I play this character is I have a multi-bind set up, right? Like all my characters, everything's multi-bound. So a multi-bind, if you don't know what it is if you go to your hotbars here, you can look at any of them. This one here is hotbar 6. You can see here, all these buttons say 5, right? They also have an alternate key of 4. Now, if I press the 5 or 4 key, so if I press 4, Ice Comet gets cast, right? See, it's right there. Now, if I press 5, exact same thing happens, right? There we go. So in my assist macro here, I have a X target 19, which on X target is my main assists target. Then I have pet swarm, pet attack, use summoned item, lodge Moderat, use rod of spectral transvergence. So when I copied UI, I copied this from my mage, but this still works, right? There is a summoned wizard pet later on that is a short time duration that we might be able to command for certain situations that I'm not 100% sure on. So I just left them in there for now. Hurts nothing to leave them in there. So, and then I left all the mod rods in because I'm too lazy to retype that entire thing again later on. But that's how it works, right? Right now, it's not really that useful. You could literally just have, this one spell right there and cast it that way. But this kind of does a lot of stuff at once, right? It gets me my target and then it casts the spell. So works for me. And as I level, I'm going to be leveling so fast, it really doesn't matter that, I'll be filling this multi-bind in with more abilities, more spells and stuff like that. So, but you can see here, there's not much else in the bar. I have a hide corpse macro. Just hides all the NPC corpses. Does auto inventory. When I get forage, it'll be on DOA 2. I just don't have it yet because of AAs. And then auto inventory, whatever he forages. It's just, I forage with all my characters, and that's just how it works. Over here I have just a mount up. So if I need more mana, regen, and I can't sit, and I'm outside, it's useful. Then I have a sit, like on my, this is a paladin right now. If I hit 0, oh, I have keybinds off an IS Boxer. If I hit 0, he sat down, right? So, and then I have a basic follow macro, so I turn off attack just in case it's on. I X target 1. X target 1 is always the character that I'm playing when I'm multi-boxing. I target him, I stand up, I follow him, and I invite him. Now, why do I do that? So if I invite somebody to my group and they invite me back, a group is formed. So this kind of saves me from having to go from go to every window, clicking invite, right? Just a little bit of convenience there for me. The rest of this row is just teleportation items and stuff like that. I believe this will become the gate AA whenever we get that. But we don't have it right now, so it's just the basic stuff for doing that. Then I have the summon agent. This is summons a familiar. What is this called? It's the one that you can buy stuff from. It sells like coffins and junk, so it's good for selling. Like if your bags get full, you can sell junk to them, stuff like that. Then I have experience potions here. Got a lot of those. I'm too stingy to use them, so they just keep adding up. I'll probably use some on this guy here whenever the experience bonus wears off. I think I'm experience capped. I was getting like 35% experience per kill there for a while. Lesson of the Devout is a 100% experience for 30 minutes buff. Everybody gets it on live. I think you have to have Seas of Destruction or maybe Omens of War for this to actually be a thing. It says Dragons of Norath right here, so maybe that's actually it. Some of these say Seas of Destruction though, so I don't know. But I would assume maybe Dragons of Norath, you get access to these AAs, so that's just like level 70-ish. So pretty nice on TLPs. And then let's see here. That's everything else on that bar, just leaving space for the multi-bind. I cleared all the buttons over here. There's really nothing here except for my familiar and the self buff that I keep memorized at all times, just because I am lazy and I literally only use one of 3 spells like for everyday use. So, and that is about it. So like when I'm playing, it's just I hit 4 on my my paladin and I nuke. And I like Ice Comet because look at it. Like I turned spell effects on so you can see it on here, right? But look at this. Now, how cool is that? Just like this big old I don't know, it's cool. Like if you do rend, I don't think it does anything fancy like that. Just a lightning bolt. Oh, that's boring. And Ice Comet. And then conflagration, I don't think it does anything fancy. Yeah, it's just a little blink of fire, right? Like Ice Comet is like iconic for the wizard class in Everquest, and it is just, I think it's awesome. I think it is. I could just sit here and cast it all day long. But you see there. So that's pretty much how I play him. Like he's leveling really fast. I'm hoping to get him to level 90 to join up with Hobbs and friends, and we'll I'm not going to replace the mage, but we'll keep him synchronized up with the group after that and kind of go from there. He is one of the mages. Like I'm using a persona, right? He's one of the mages from my from that group, so he should level pretty quick as we do this. And I'll keep updating the videos every 5 levels just so that they're there for historical reference and how I actually do some of this stuff, right? I know some people find them very useful and whatnot, so hopefully that. And then eventually we'll get to 125, and then we'll cover a lot more in detail and see what we can do about the wizard. I got several requests about wizards, so I'm gonna throw them in there and you know, just keep him leveled up. So that's that. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.